It's farewell for now. Lowell Greenbaum ended his tenure as chairman of the Richmond County Democratic Party after 16 years. Matessa Wright, senior counsel for Savannah River Nuclear Solutions, takes over as chair.
Some of what I envision is really what can we do in Richmond County to increase outreach.
Despite changes, committee member Joseph Traina says the party is violating its bylaws, claiming Greenbaum led the charge in closing public meetings and denying new members a chance to join.
Sure.
So what is all this about?
This is about people who'd like to join ahead of the next meeting and the ability for them to do that. You're the chair and you're actively blocking them from doing that when I can show you messages from Matessa that show that they are welcome to fill it out.
I don't think we're going to approve you. You were setting up a new Democratic Party.
What are you talking about?
We're trying to join the existing Democratic Party.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
I'm already a member.
The Progressive Democrats.
What about them?
Peace Coalition.
That's not a party. That's not a party, Lowell.
Oh, yes.
Let's have a discussion. Let's have a conversation.
Hey.
Right. So, if you want to pull out charter bylaws, we can dispute right now on black and white whether this meeting is supposed to be closed.
Look, I don't care if the people stand around.
Right. That's all we're going to do. That's all we want to do.
No,
And sign up to
that's
come in.
not what you're going to do. That's not what you're going to do because you're not signing up today. That's the point.
All right. Well,
Look, I want to tell you something. Just a minute. I want to tell you something. You're a big boy. You're an intelligent man, but you screw up from top to bottom. And you are not going to disrupt this meeting. You will take your friends out and let them tell me that they're coming in, not you. Okay?
I volunteered for the Obama campaign in 2008. I drove people to the
Look,
polls.
I'm not arguing whether you are a Democrat, but this is a takeover, and I can smell a takeover, and out.
Happy New Year, and I am glad to see returning faces and new faces, but I wouldn't give the opportunity to anyone who's this is their first meeting. You're welcome to stand and introduce themselves. Do we have any first-timers?
Well, this isn't my first meeting, but I'm hoping this will be my first meeting as a member. I'm Megan. Thanks for being here.
Not Megan. Me also. I was here at the last meeting, but I get to speak for my name is Monica.
Hi, Monica. Welcome. Anyone else?
I'd like to say that my name is Michelle. I've been here for the past 2 meetings.
I'm Daniel. I'm an Augusta native. I've been living in Belgium the last 6 years. This is my first meeting.
Welcome. Anyone else?
I'm Jared Gay, also my 3rd meeting. Nice to meet all of you.
Hey, I'm Alyssa. This is my 2nd meeting, and I hope also to become a member tonight.
Anyone else?
Hey, my name's Jason. It's nice to meet all of you. It's my first time.
Hey, Jason.
My name's Carlos. I've been a few times. Nice to meet y'all.
Hi, Carlos. Welcome.
I'm Thomas. This is my 2nd meeting, and I brought my notarized voter registration. I'd like to apply to join.
But I have to submit people to the executive committee. So even though you may have turned it in and I cannot recommend to the executive committee on site. Just want to let you know that. So I just want to make sure everybody aware.
Stand up, so the ones whose names were called are here, please stand up.
Stand up, the ones who are here.
Those aren't all the names, are they?
Those all I had on my sheet when I turned it on the night.
What about the rest of us who filled in?
I got to see me, just see me, out. So I got some more. All right, you have the ones in front of your names been called. Can I get a motion on the floor?
Is there a limit to the number that can be approved in a single meeting?
No.
What happened to the other application?
Let's change it then.
Excuse me.
Like I said,
We filled in paperwork the same time as these people. Why are we being voted on?
like I said, as I mentioned,
Gotta make those records? Yeah, let me talk about that.
all right, then that's just true. So I can't come back on what I can't change something that's the fact.
Excuse me, is it not a violation of due diligence if you do not get to all of the names that have been processed according to one meeting that should be voted on the next meeting according to your own charter and bylaws? Okay.
That is what the charter and bylaws say.
Can you cite that, please? Can somebody of authority
It
please
says
cite
you're voting on the next meeting.
Now we have, like I said, please.
I filled out 2 applications.
We all have.
Yeah, me too. Twice.
So you're telling me that you want to go to the special record?
All right, parliamentarian has spoken, we got a motion on the floor. Can I get a second motion?
Second. Deny.
All right.
All in favor?
Deny.
All opposed?
Say, hey.
Hey, that's a loud voice.
I would like to now, thank you, Second Vice Chair. There are some applications that we, for whatever reason, in the transition between myself and Chris, they have gotten misplaced.
That's
And there are some, and there are some applications.
We gave our applications to her. She misplaced them. She's your new administration.
Okay, you guys.
There were some applications that when approved when brought to the exec committee, there were concerns about those persons' loyalty to the Democratic Party.
It was impossible for us to organize because we had no membership list, even though we had been asking for one since early December. Conflicting membership lists suddenly began to appear everywhere. We began asking DPG officials for help.
Oh, this is Arnold? Mr. Arnold. Yes, please talk. Please let us know what's going on with these membership lists, with the elections going on. I'm Joe Trainer. This is Jared Gay. We've sent you numerous emails and only got one response. You said you get back to us in 2 weeks. It never happened. So we got you here. You're finally in Augusta. Tell us what's going on with these membership lists.
Membership list?
Yes, we do not have a current membership list for this county.
The only thing that I know is that membership list has been sent up to the state and that they're recertifying. That's all I know.
What does recertifying mean?
Going through the list, and that's all I know. I'm not here talking about membership lists.
Did you read our complaint?
I don't deal with membership lists. Once again, that goes through Melba. So I understand that Melba and her office is dealing with all that.
We haven't heard from Melba in weeks.
Oh, Melba's on vacation leave.
Well, and before that she was sick, and before that it wasn't even in her report.
I understand.
So we're trying to understand. So it's just Melba. She's the only person we can reach out to about this issue.
I'm not a staff person. I'm a volunteer.
So are we, because we haven't had legitimate elections for years.
And there's no
so we need to actually have those elections.
And there's no possible way to verify the membership list that the state has because there's no paper trail for when members were voted on. Well, I understand you got to go, and I'll make this really quick. Just one thing, because I know that you will go back and at a certain point have a conversation with the other people that you work with at the DPG. Please impart to them that at this point, we are given the impression that there's no other way that we can have this settled outside of court.
Matessa's made it that much clear.
We're talking to lawyers from the ACLU. They're reviewing our case. They told us we have a case. They said it'll take about 3 to 4 weeks for them to review it and get us ready to have it filed. That's pretty much the time.
Well, we can file it.
We can file it now, but we want to give them a chance to review everything and to give us their impression. So either way, at this point, it's not an abstract thing, this going to court. Right now, we're being given the impression from the DPG and the RCDC that that's the only way that we're going to get redress of any of our complaints. For that not to happen, we need across-the-board elections and some commitment made to that, or else court's the only other place that it can get adjudicated.
I am chairman of county affairs.
Just a few days after Arnold Martin's visit, a letter was sent to Matessa Wright expressing concerns of vandalism and threats of violence. Mr. Martin continues to tell others he felt unsafe when we approached him. Consequently, our August meeting was canceled. Sarah Todd did admit that Richmond had not held proper elections for some time, and the state would send instructions to address the situation. After Arnold's visit, our executives decided to go into executive session. Please note from this email dated June 15th, 2017, and that was copied to Matessa Wright, the local party may not go into executive session without permission from DPG.
Now, if she feels that way, if she thinks that way, I want to understand why. And I want to understand where she gets this information from, because I'm the membership chair. So of course that's going to be a question to me. How can she tell me who is invalid and she's never even, and it's not she, I'm saying anyone. How would anyone know?
Yeah, I'll print it for you too as well if you'd like. I sent that on July 26th.
So the question is, how would anyone outside of the membership chair and the vice chair and possibly the chair know who's valid, who is enough to write the state? So we can leave it. I just want to, and I love dialogue. I don't have a problem with that.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for doing that, Monica. So I am also not suing a party. And I want all of you to know that I am fighting for this party, but this is not a fight that I can do by myself. So I was prepared for our meeting last week with the state to present that the state had looked at our list, had found, I think it was 15 or so, verifications they want us to go back through to handle. And we're in the process of doing that and resending the list. We have till August 31st. Because this will affect where people might be sitting, we want to send letters out to those folks. So I don't want to have a list out yet till after we've sent back to the state. And the state sends back a letter saying, okay, so this is what we have. At that point, we can present the list, and we can present how that list came to be. If that point, which is what I think, there are people who are going to be unhappy, they can then litigate at that point. All right, please send to me a copy of the email. That was the email I was referring to where I was told in the email that I could, a lawsuit might be contemplated. So I did that. And it says, now he's telling us, do not fret about litigation.
And he was threatened with another lawsuit by Jared.
Okay.
And
I sent that email. That's who sent me the email. So
was it after the last meeting?
No, it was right before.
It was after the last meeting. He threatened. He said rather than I'll have and I don't know why he told me, but I just said thank you very much. So I just wanted that to go.
And Joy told me he wanted to sue it too. I will not want to be exposed. I do not want to be exposed. I think we have a right to protect ourselves.
So you're not exposed?
Yes, we are exposed. You tell me we're not exposed. You tell me we're not. Somebody come up to me, and scratch up my car. I have been personally sued 28 times in my lifetime. So I was told we were going to get sued by 3 people. Joy told me, Jim told me, Jared told me. What's your name? Rosa said she been sued. You've been told you're going to get sued. Everybody in the room been told they're going to get sued. In fact, I saw where even the state going to get sued, because I heard the state going to get sued. So therefore, we can't be.
There, a lot of members have come to me about things that they've experienced at the hands of the group.
How to handle disruption. Let me offer Sid Gates' suggestion. He is suggesting that there be a meeting between, some of the exec committee and those that are causing disruption as they're willing to come to a mutual understanding so as to not have disruptions.
I disagree with that, Madam Chair.
So, she asked me how to address the thing. I'm offering up, and I told Sid I would, So please make note that I offered up citizen gesture.
We going by the book.
No, we were told by Arnold Martin, we could have a set of rules of conduct, but that had to be voted on by the membership.
I did discuss this with both Second Vice President Kristen Johnson and with the chaplain. That I am concerned because of the deportment of the meetings, because of the disruption of deportment of the meetings, that I did feel that it was fair that before we have another monthly meeting or any type of gathering, that we have some type of an opportunity to have dialogue, not to be mediated by us per se, but perhaps by, I'm recommending that PRC, Rabbi Kleinson, and who he would designate, definitely to involve our second vice president, who's clergy, and Sid Gates, who is clergy. I would recommend it because I think it's also a spiritual matter. I think it's important. I think we are citizens. I think we need fellow citizens. We need to respect ourselves. And even if it doesn't work, I think it needs to go down on the record that we tried.
When the person turned to me and threatened me back in January, the person told me what I didn't want to see and what they were willing to do, and they came back the next month and said, if things are not right here, we're going to turn it out. It's not a spiritual matter when you stand up and say revolution is necessary when you've never been in a party to know what they did or what they didn't do.
I would like to make a motion that until the disruption is cleared up, that we have somebody from the sheriff's office or police department attend each meeting.
As Chris and Rosalind continued their smear campaign, Katie Groves asked the chair to please appoint a subcommittee to investigate these allegations. Her motion was seconded, but Matessa refused to allow a vote. I don't understand why I'm voting so early on seats that don't expire.
Well,
but anyway,
is, you can.
The instructions have been very fuzzy on how this is supposed to go.
Right. Because you didn't think you were really supposed to be on it. So.
No, I thought my term wasn't up until April. Right. I thought that's what the April elections were about. The instructions were not really clear. And I hope the instructions are more clear in April, and it would be beneficial, okay? And I say this in the interest of unity here. It would be beneficial if y'all kind of listen to some of our suggestions before the next election.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, peace.
Well, no, I get. What about the folks that their seat hasn't expired yet? Okay. Yeah, I need to ask. Diane Evans she's here from Jefferson County. She's going to be one observing the process. So I was just able to vote. I was told I could vote for 12 different selections. You just have a thing. Yeah, it's a question. Yeah, she. As far as I know, I don't know. They haven't confirmed yet. But if she's the observer, she should know. I just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Okay, I don't have 2 minutes to stay in here, Joey.
I have 2 minutes to stay in here after I vote? That's the time? Okay, well, I just have a question about the vote. So you're the voting official that's observing everything? Is there a top tier person that can answer my question about why I was told I could vote?
I'm not asking you the questions right now. I'm giving people vote. But I'm not asking you the questions right now. So I'm going to have to come back.
So who is the contact for concerns?
You can call. Right now, I'm just making sure this election.
Right. That's what my question is about. So, but that's not you. You're saying don't. I need to contact the DPG. You're running the election, but I can't bring concerns to you about the election.
Yeah, no, I'm just
Alright. You're the top contact, and you're saying that's there's nobody above you that I can answer here.
right now, we'll make sure that everything's running smooth.
So after 5, can I come back and ask? So Diane, are you aware of how many votes you can cast in District 1?
Okay. Any disruptions can be ejected from here. But right now,
I'm just asking, you're running an election, but you can't confirm how many votes.
right now, I just need not to get those disruptions.
All right, that's my answer. There is no answer. I'm being ejected.
The elections were held January 20th. On January 28th, the Augusta Chronicle published an article in which Sylvia Cooper stated an email had been sent out by 12th Congressional Chair Chris Johnson to party officials stating he was going to ask the Richmond County Party to bar Joe from future meetings until he had a mental evaluation. A couple weeks later, Joe received a certified letter banning him from the party and a package of treats from an unknown address.
Good evening, everybody. You all know that I've always been exceedingly balanced with this moment, respecting persons of faith and non-faith, and pulling from different traditions, Jewish, Hindu, Muslim, New Age, what have you, for this time of clarification, had to do with ethical, moral, spiritual kind of issues. It is Ash Wednesday today, so I am going to call a wee bit more from my tradition. With a little bit more of a spiritual focus tonight in one direction. Some of you remember 2 years ago for our Martin Luther King tribute service, we had William Barber.
No, we need to do it.
Barber has a much larger sojourner.
Here's what I'm telling you. I need for you to step outside, okay? If you don't, you're going to be charged with misdemeanor obstruction because I'm asking you to do something because we got a call on you.
A call?
Yes, sir.
What is that? A warrant?
Listen, step up, okay?
You have a warrant?
No, but I need you to step up. You need to go outside. Okay?
This is so sad.
You should hear explain why I'm
Point of order.
Ridiculous.
You are removing a member of this committee without any due process.
There are 3 justifications for banning somebody from the meeting.
You are totally ignoring the bylaws of the Georgia Democratic Party.
Yes, you are. Or the ownership.
He has been removed without any due process.
I thought the Democrats were supposed to be the good guys.
What's your next question?
I have a specific issue with several of the bylaws, and I know that several of the folks who have actually seen them do as well. Amendment that says that people can be removed from the committee for speaking negatively about the officers or any of the actions of the Richmond County Democratic Committee, that they can be removed from the committee for speaking to media in a way that is critical of this committee or the officers. It specifically says that. We asked Sarah Todd from the executive committee of the Democratic Party of Georgia about that, and she said, we have not seen that, and it would not pass our scrutiny. It would not pass our process for ratification.
Violates First Amendment.
I propose, madam, that 2 people from the opposing group meet with Chris, the Reverend, and the nominating committee to show their complaints, and we settle it in committee before we bring it.
I second that. I second that. The procedure that's already set out in the bylaws was not followed at all in the removal of Joey Trana, as you well know. The bylaws as they currently exist require that we have a separate subcommittee that essentially conducts a trial, in which case the offendant, or the defendant rather, has the opportunity to defend himself, hear charges against him, and then there's a vote. None of that happened. You claimed that there was an executive committee meeting in which there was a unanimous vote to remove Trana from the building or from the committee. One, that's not the process in the bylaws. There's a separate process for forming a subcommittee, as I just said. And the second point is that even if that were true, that wasn't an accurate claim either way, because Sid Gates informed us after the meeting that he was not even aware that there was a vote. And to my knowledge, he's an executive officer. So we already have issues not following the bylaws that currently exist, and you're trying to ram through bylaws that the majority of the committee has not even seen, and not even allow us an opportunity to go through them and tell you what is problematic in them. And you're trying to limit discussion. The only discussion that you've had with the general committee, you're trying to limit arbitrarily at 2 minutes when that's not even a process that's set out in the DPG bylaws or in Robert's rules.
No, I can't throw him out. I can't throw him out. No. He is a member of this party and has a right to be here. Throw him out.
Point of order. You need to look at the bylaws. Point of order. It is not point of order for me as a member to call.
I want to read the bylaws for removing a member. I want.
For a minute till we get everything organized here.
I move for recess.
Can you just give everybody this for a minute?
Yeah.
I move for a brief recess.
Second.
See, that's unity. I'm fine. Actually, I'm fine with that compromise.
We've been asking that for months.
Well, and as many times as I butted head with Bet,
Chris immediately said no.
Oh, of course he did, because Chris is crooked.
Chris Johnson just wants yesterday. He just wants people that will do whatever he wants, whenever he says.
When the bylaws failed to pass, our officers scheduled another meeting, but this time they had a new trick up their sleeves. Now there were 3 ways to vote: yes, no, or yes with conditions. What were those conditions? Member Rabbi Clinton wanted to nail that down, so he wrote a letter to the executives before the meeting. He specified 6 different bylaws that, if passed with conditions, would not go into effect until we revisited each one, and they would not become effective without a 2/3 vote. Chris has refused to let us discuss those bylaws ever since, and now they're using them to purge dissenters.
The phone hearing starting now. Any discussion? Yes, sir.
Is it sufficient to have a 1 hour period, 1 day a week for members to be able to pick up a copy of the bylaws and have them reasonably reviewed, especially considering that day was only yesterday?
You're going in your time.
The answer is that's what we were able to do, yes.
So why are we not having a discussion prior to holding a vote on these bylaws, especially considering there were so many issues brought up in the last meeting with them?
We're having a discussion now, and again, as we said, the bylaws are a living document. We have the opportunity to address any corrections. Like I said, we also have to get this to the state. We can't get anything to the state without having it approved.
Yes. I understood there was more explanation about what was going to happen if there are questions that are raised on the committee, about if they will automatically then come back to this group and have to be approved by 2/3 vote. Could you explain that a little bit further?
Yeah. No, I take it. Thank you very much for the question. Again, if an item you have an issue that requires for consent, the committee person, when we vote, the committee person will take it back to the committee and deal with it. And if there's a problem with the committee coming back, that committee chairperson will be able to bring it to the body again and get 2/3 only on that item, not like everything else, only on that item to go up and down.
So I'll understand, as a new member of the bylaw committee, I've already submitted questions. Those issues, I'll be able to bring up the bylaws committee, we'll be discussing there, they will come back here, and in order to be included, my issues, included in the bylaws, it will take 2/3 vote, positive for those things. So I object to section 1, line 4, the only way it will be in the bylaws is if there's a 2/3 vote in favor of section 1, line 4. Okay, well, we need to make sure that's in the minutes. That's a very important thing.
We got you. That's what we need to do.
Thank you, sir.
Point of order. We do not have quorum because we.
Point of order is ignored. I have a motion to censor on the floor. At a second. All in favor of censoring Jared Gray, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Nay. You also. The next step is to have a motion to expel. So
You can expel me. I'm not looking. If you're not going to follow the rules, then neither am I.
I have followed the rules.
Madam Chair, so make the motion to eject Jared Gay from this meeting.
With controversy in the Richmond County Democratic Party. Back in March, the party had former Secretary Joe Traina arrested for attending a monthly meeting. Members of the board say he was being disruptive. News Channel 6's Samantha Williams was at the Democratic Party's appreciation breakfast this morning. She joins us live in the newsroom with more. Samantha?
Back in February, Chairman sent Traina a letter saying the executive committee voted unanimously to suspend his membership indefinitely. But one of those executive members says there was no vote. Traina holds an elected seat and believes this fight isn't fair.
So you're sending a message to folks that if you join a political party, you have to get ready, you have to lose, your First Amendment essentially.
Joe Traina tells me he has been a part of the Richmond County Democratic Party since 2007. He served as secretary in 2012 and this year holds the District 1 Post 7 committee seat. He says the tension throughout the local party started after the 2018 election, when he and some other members held the board accountable to their bylaws.
So unfortunately they were not conducted properly. And when at the next meeting we wanted to get those results and maybe ask them about what the inconsistent things were about those elections.
He questioned the board in February, following chairperson Matessa Wright's sending Traina a letter telling him his membership was suspended and that he should seek multiple forms of psychological, mental, social, and forensic evaluations. Traina says he did go to the next month's meeting to ask about the letter, and that is when he was arrested.
Unfortunately, leadership in the last 20 to 30 years is having trouble passing the baton to new folks. This isn't even really ideological. We agree on 90% of the platform.
After his arrest in March, Traina stayed quiet. And that brings us to Saturday. He's the campaign manager for Trenton E. Smith, who is running to replace Rick Allen as the District 12 congressman. So he bought a ticket to the Walt William breakfast and hopes to do so. Traina was then escorted out of the party's function because the member filed a restraining order against him.
We've got this big divide here in Richmond County that needs to be addressed.
This is a democracy, and I think all persons have a right to participate in it. That's one of our most cherished values enshrined in the First Amendment.
Why are Joe and Denise Traina still being denied membership?
That an alleged active member of the Green Party was refused the right to run for public caucus in Richmond County because of her involvement in another political party. The seating chair said the person is an officer of the Green Party as shown by the website. However, in Vote Builder, she is a strong Democrat and she signed the affidavit claiming her allegiance to the Democratic Party at the meeting. The committee discussed various options. It was questioned whether the entire election was invalid because she was refused the right to participate. Melvin Hicks moved to seat the already elected delegates and Chris Johnson seconded. It passed unanimously. There was another motion made by David Robinson to allow the person denied the right to run the opportunity to run in the county election happening on Tuesday, August 21st. Providing the correct affidavits are signed. It was discussed that the person still may not win the election, but should be allowed to run. The motion was seconded and it passed with 1 no and 3 who abstained.